I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Robert Farrington. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. It's a great pleasure to connect with you, Robert. I'm great. I'm even better now.
Awesome. You know what? It is great. I'm having a great night.
That's wonderful. Well, please do tell us, what part of the world are you in right now?
I am in San Diego, California.
Oh, sweet. So it's evening there still. All right.
It is. It just got a little dark outside. It's just starting to be evening.
All right. Now, on your LinkedIn page here, I'm definitely seeing the back of a banana tree, if I'm not mistaken. So
you are. That's right in my backyard.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Well, in the Caribbean, we definitely have a few of those. So we're right in the same arena, if you would, right now, right?
That's awesome. I love it.
Well, Robert, please tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
You know, it has to be networking. I heard through the grapevine about this podcast and these conversations, and I know you were looking for some people. So, you know, I think it's the power of connecting with others and my network that's led us to be here together.
Yeah, that is an amazing talent. So who did you learn that from? Is it a parent, an aunt, a mom, a friend?
You know, honestly, I had to learn this the hard way, and I kind of did it by watching and looking at people that I aspire to be, especially in business, and what are they doing and how are they being successful. And I always noticed they were connecting with others in the area, like people that you think would be competitors, quote unquote. They weren't. They were still hanging out with them and talking to them. And so I've always tried to do the same thing, and it's done a lot of things for me.
That's great. So let's unpack that for a second as well. Your insight, if you would, or your observation. Let's unpack that. Who did you learn that from? The ability to observe and learn and go forward.
You know, I don't know. I think it's a school of hard knocks. I think. It really has been. I think I was an only child, and I just kind of learned things by trial and error is the kind of the best way I think I put it. So
intriguing. So has it been beneficial?
You know, it has been. I think one thing that I've kind of learned about myself over the last few years is that I get places slower, but I don't take many steps backwards. So, you know, I do take a lot of hard knocks to get where I want to go. And I might, you know, really get through the grind of it, but when I finally achieve something, it's lasting, so it's good.
It sounds like the same process for paying off debt. It's very similar.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully you're not taking too many steps backwards in that regard.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, right now in my country, there has been limitation on the US dollars that you can spend because of the Forex and what's going on there. And
wow.
You know, I am painfully experiencing the thoughts of having to take a credit card out, right? And this is after getting out of debt and not wanting to dance with credit cards, right?
Right.
So, but that being said, in terms of the steps backwards, please tell us what you do offer in terms of the value for finances and financial education.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, honestly, I think there's so much you can do out there yourself. So I really try to be an advocate, especially here in the States with student loan debt, and talking to young adults about what the return on investment and the ROI is on college and how you need to borrow responsibly. And, you know, sadly, I catch people too late, but, you know, hopefully we can, you know, resolve it before it gets out of hand. And if you are struggling with it, you know, what steps you can take to work through it, you know, because it's the worst kind of debt you can have here. So
Is that a similar situation that occurred with you in terms of having college debt?
I did have college debt. You know, I had about $42,000 in college debt when I graduated.
Wow.
But but you know what? I paid it off in about 3.5 years, and I did it by working full time and also side hustling and, you know, doing online business on the side at night, you know, every day, just selling stuff on eBay and doing side jobs and freelance writing. So you can get through it if you want.
Well done, Robert. So you've done this now, and are you helping others? And how do they reach you if you are?
Honestly, they reach me through search from the internet and on my website on thecollegeinvestor.com and on social media. So hopefully they find me. We do community outreach as well here locally in San Diego, but most people find me online.
That's wonderful. Well, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Yeah, the biggest thing I've done consistently is I like to call it putting in the work. But you know what? I have published a blog post 3 times a week, every single week now on my website for over 7 years.
Wow.
Right. And so I think consistency, like you talk about here, is huge. Like, I think if you just put in the work and you just write, you get better, you get traction, you learn, and you continue to move forward. So
yeah, I love to connect dots on the podcast and in conversations, and I really believe, like, I was just doing self introspection, and I said getting out of that, and my process for getting out of that definitely helped me to understand the value of consistency. Do you think that's similar with you?
It is. Well, I think it's anything any mission you want to embark on, whether it's business, whether it's getting out of debt, whether it's, saving for a vacation, who knows, right? If you just do something consistently, whether it's every day or every other day or every week, it builds. And the beginning of it's hard, right? Like when you try to start something, it doesn't work very well. But once you get going, it's easier to just keep building on your momentum than it is to try to stop and restart.
Yeah. So how does it make you feel? Like, hit me an emoji.
Hit you an emoji like it's the what do you call it? The one that's got like the confetti flying. It feels great. I'm terrible with emojis, but I love it. It's exciting. It's exciting to see the momentum that's built over the last few years.
It is someone listening who may have college debt or maybe carrying any type of debt, whether it be car debt, house, whatever, right? Suggest to them why they should even consider doing what you've done, Robert.
Because it's a long game. Anything you want to do is going to take time. And it's hard to explain this sometimes because we live in a day and age when everything is so fast on social media and you want to get instant gratification. But the big things in life take time, whether it's starting your business, whether it's getting out of debt, whether it's paying off your mortgage. And, you just have to take those baby steps every single day. And you'll get to your goal where you'll get to where you're going and you'll achieve your goal, but you're not going to feel that progress for a while. And that doesn't always feel good to people. And I think that's the hardest thing is, you do something for a week or you do something for a month and you look back and you're like, what was the point? I'm not making any progress. But you are making progress in the big scheme of things. It just takes time.
Love it. Well, amazing audience. Again, we are live with Robert Farrington, and you can check him out at thecollegeinvestor.com. Robert, let's switch gears for a moment now. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water and some banana trees. Robert, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Speaking of banana trees, my earliest childhood memory isn't a banana tree per se, but it is climbing. I had this like 50-foot tree in my backyard and I built a tree house in it. I don't know. My dad probably built the tree house in it, but I'm taking a little credit there. And I just remember climbing it and, building in it and going out on the limbs. And it was just a blast.
How old do you think you were in this memory?
I had to be like 6, 7, maybe 8, but probably a little younger, probably like 6.
If you had to connect the dots on that memory to the life you live now, can you?
I don't know, but I do remember that it was like it's a combination of a lot of factors, right? So there's definitely like some danger there, even though it probably wasn't very dangerous, but when you're 6 years old, it felt dangerous. At the same time, I really liked building things. So I was there, I was building, I was doing imaginary games in the tree. So I consider myself pretty creative with running a website and blogging. So, I think there's some of that all echoes through,
Yeah, I love it. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yeah, do it. Let's hear it.
I love the idea. I had John Lee Dumas on the podcast and he expressed being in the yard, I think, and seeing the leaves and whatnot. And I think the tree in itself represents such of a magnificent picture, if you would, of creation in its full functionality. So the roots are there, and then there's the bark and the leaves, and then you get fruit. It's just fascinating to me how it connects in terms of the consistency that you've applied to your life to ensure that you do have good seed planted, so that you can then have that tree through the steps, just like climbing up that tree, right? Through the baby steps, if you would, so that you can have that tree, so that then you can bear fruit and then rejoice.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
You know, I had to look this up. I always loved music. So I was like, what was like the best songs in 1997 is when I was 12 years old. So I went back in time here and looked it up. And, you know, I had to pull out the Verve, and it's that Bittersweet Symphony. And I bet anyone that hears that song, you know the melody. Like everybody on earth knows that melody. And it's a great song.
It's amazing how it connects to, I mean, it's definitely bittersweet, right? Going through the process of getting out of that, or even just being consistent. It is definitely bittersweet.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Robert, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off on this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Robert, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, I try to.
Okay, all right. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Do you have children?
I do. I have 2.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
A small one, yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
I do not.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yeah, probably pushing about 3 hours a week.
And what about screen time? The phone and the computer, is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
I work online. It is more than 8 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, you know, my new thing now is to advise individuals to blink often. You know, like just blink. An optometrist was expressing how necessary it is for us to blink, not to have dried eyes.
I have to get up. I can't sit for more than like 15, 20 minutes. So I get up quite a bit and just walk around the family room, walk outside as much as I can. Yeah. But I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm standing. I'm new to the standing. The trend right now. So yeah. All right. Well, hey, after 1,001 conversations, I needed to stand right.
There you go. Right.
I created this book, my friend, and it's called Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self, and the idea is you answer questions to uncover your own unique real statement, your mission, if you would. I'd like to know, Robert, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Robert Farrington, what would you say that is?
You know, I thought a lot about this, and I really always loved that statement that said, show me your money and your time, and I'll show you what you value. And so when I was thinking about this, I thought about that statement, and I really am all about, I value my family, I value helping others, and I really enjoy the hustle of business and side hustling. So put those 3 together, and that's where I spend my time and my money, and that's kind of me.
Love it. Robert, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I appreciate you having me on. If anyone does have questions about getting out of student loan debt and starting to invest, you know, just come by the College Investor, check out our resources, and feel free to ask a question or tweet me. I'll always answer. So.
Love it. Robert Farrington. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.